Alright. I think that's okay. Test 1, 2. Okay, it's like very quiet. Getting a bit of fan noise. What do you do? It's fine. I need to check stream qualities. Let's do that quickly. Okay, everything seems to be working. Okay, everything seems to be working. Perfect. All right. Now, what the fuck was I doing? I think, I do have a document. Let's have a look. It's only an MD. Okay. Let's go into devlog. Okay. There was some stuff about this one. Yeah, that needs to mimic the style of the other one. So in source engine, God, what were we doing? I was hooking up updaters. So this is currently working based off the registrar, which something else that I had set up was going off of the entity. I can't remember what it was though. The dispatcher maybe? Yeah, it was doing this, which is essentially what this needs to do. So if I go entity registrars, and then I have the component, so I don't need to do the registration. I just want to go component update, I believe, delta time. iComponent, get component from registry, gave me an iComponent, yeah. We don't have the entity, that's probably the main problem. So let's kill, this needs to now have entity. Oh, it looks like we want to point to it. That might work. Variable it's from, yeah. Yeah, I do want to point to it. Okay. Core entity. These are entities. Entities. Little line. Yeah. This argument to viable. Hey, Raid. Amazing. I only just started streaming. How you doing? Orkion. Thanks for the raid. Love my keyboard. Thank you. It's a Oh, it's hard to pick up, but I've got a ZSA Voyager. It's a split keyboard. Took some getting used to, but I've been using it for over a year now, and it's really good. So welcome in, everyone. We've got... You're so fast. Yeah, it sounds it, because I've gotten used to it. I haven't done a speed test in a while, but I don't think I'm that quick. Oh man, I'm going to butcher some names, but welcome in, everyone. We got Zairo, I think. Urain and Felicia. I like that one, that's nice. What were you streaming, Orkion? What's going on? Baguette team. Nice. I need to go. I want to call entities. Entity star. Entity. I stream Game Dev 2, usually Unity, but at the moment my GDD update. Oh yeah, okay, cool, nice, very good. I started with Unity a very long time ago, and tried some Unreal as well. Played a little bit with Godot, didn't really gel with it that much. I think I reached a point where I just wasn't interested in using like pre-built game engines anymore, and that's when I started just building games from scratch, and that led to me doing this, started building my own engine. It is true what they say, if you want to make games, don't build an engine, but I find some enjoyment in this, so it's worth it to me. What game are you designing at the moment with your GDD? I need to see why this is not working. No conversion from... Is this expecting me to return something? No, it's void. Huh. Const. Oh, it's a const. No, const is a void too, though. What's going on here? Update's a void. But it's not a const. I'm working on a project solo called Spread, which is an arcade shooter game. Mix of Borderlands, Remnant. Okay. Currently aiming for a real first playable. Awesome. Good luck. That sounds really cool. Borderlands and Remnant. Interesting. You're doing 2D or 3D? You said arcade shooter, so it's not immediately obvious. .3D, yeah, cool. I'd love to get into 3D. Currently only working with 2D at the moment in this, just because the jump from going from nothing to 3D is really large. Baguette was in French team. Ah, I got you. That makes sense. I wasn't sure if that was some kind of like inside joke, but French checks out. The baguettes and croissants. I'm on the... I don't even know. The meat pie team, or the Bunnings sausage from Australia, so. we steal a lot of food from everyone else, so we don't really have our own. I need to sort out my const. Yes. I don't know if my accent is that strong. I hear a lot of people say that my accent's pretty weak compared to normal, or what people would expect from an Australian. But yeah, I'm on the west coast in Perth. Pen pal's Australian. That's cool. What side of Australia are they from? Yeah. Recognizable, I guess. Sorry, my brain isn't turned on yet. I'm trying to work out why. Sydney, yeah. Sydney's in an interesting spot at the moment. It's very expensive to live there. It's expensive to live here too, but don't need that. I need to feed. This should just. Yeah, what is going on here? I think it's because it's const. We do, and then we get the registrars. Kind of doing it the other way around for some reason. That doesn't sound right. We got the entity. We go for each component, and then on each component we want to run update. It is what it is. It's exactly that. I think it's a const correctness thing that I'm running into. Can I const cast this? Oh, not that. Oh, yeah, okay, I don't need that. I don't think I need this. This is fine. Do I need this? No viable overload. Oh man, I can't see what that error is saying. Who's expecting one? Okay, so we want to const. Can I just like have this entire error, please? So I can read it. No viable conversion from lambda. My name. No lambda. I think it's a const thing. I don't understand why. That's literally what I've got. Let's check. I was thinking about doing a C++ game engine with Vulkan too, but I should focus on the game for now because I won't be able to release it otherwise. Yeah, 100%. If you want to do a game, do the game, because while learning the C++ game engine and diving into Vulkan is really interesting, and you will learn a lot about how engines work under the hood, and you'll probably understand Unity a lot better afterwards. If you actually want to like release a game, you should just do that because you won't get it done otherwise. I've got ideas that I'm like building my engine towards. So like the scope of what I'm working on is very specific to trying to do that. But again, like the amount of work required to get to the point where I can then go make the game is it's very long. So, I mean, I could have spun up the game in Unity and finished it by now if I had just used Unity, but I don't think I would have enjoyed that as much, so this is fine. I did it with OpenGL a few years ago, but I missed these times. It's only learned to. Yeah, I mean, that's great. It is a very good learning tool, just to dive in a little bit deeper. I find Unity and Unreal Engine a little bit annoying with how easy it is to just kind of whip things up. Like, a lot of things are really done for you. And personally, I get a little bit bored. Whereas like this has kind of tickled that part of my brain that feels like I'm constantly solving difficult problems. And that has allowed me to keep working on it. I mean, I can like go through and find like original files. What's a really old one, for example? Maybe this one. Nope, that's pretty new. I have like headers on the top of my files. Maybe vector. Here you go. This was the 1st of June 2025. So I've been working on this over a year. But I would have put a game down by now if I had just done a game. So this has been good for me. Yeah, I'm also like kind of learning C++ at the same time, which is also quite difficult because I'm doing kind of two things at once. Definitely learned a lot about C++ as I've gone through it, but occasionally I will stump on some syntax or something, and it'll confuse the shit out of me. But that's okay. It's another learning vector. I don't understand what I'm missing here. If I remove this, does it still complain? It does. Okay. Because I literally pinched it from here. That doesn't make any sense to me. What if I go, oops, no. It's an overload issue. Component. Bool. Bool. Why is it a bool? Should be a void, not a bool. Oh, it's a bool. Oh, it needs to okay, that's why. This needs to return true for it to stop complaining, and then I should be able to say component update and chuck in delta time. And now I think I'm having a const correction issue, which should allow me to do, maybe if I go to this one, I can probably do a non-const variant. If I go doop, doop. Anyway, I have to sleep. It's over 6 a.m. over here. Sleeping at 6 a.m. Yeah, that's a good idea. You should do that. Thanks for jumping in, and thanks for the raid. It was good to have some people jump in as soon as I got online, so that was really great. Enjoy your baguettes and croissants and your escargot. Au revoir. I haven't tried escargot, but I don't imagine it's great. Oh, thanks for the follow too. I missed that. I haven't got alerts set up. Appreciate it. Alright, so we got our first component. I don't think I want it to be. I think this would be a void. But why is it a bull that? I guess I could just return true or false. That's fine. That's in iEntity, so in entity, I should have entities, entity on the bottom, for each component. There you are. Then this is just not const. And then in here, for each, here you are. And non-const, same thing. Great, all right, and then back into here. Wherever it is, keep going, nearly there. There he is. Non-const, please, and that should fix that. And then delta time cannot be captured in the lambda because it needs to be here. Great, we got there finally. And then this can go. I don't need this. Delta time is fine. Can I build? I didn't like that. Okay. Oh, I'm not. Yeah, no, that checks out. I need to put inside of the component pipeline. We have the updater. Delete that. Let's get rid of this and then go into here. And this needs to now take the entity as well. Shit. How do I give it the entity? I kind of have to live through all entities. Do I have a registrar of entities in the pipeline? I don't, because we're doing it per... Okay. Run. Your keyboard is so expensive. Oh my god, I want a split keyboard too, but the price, I can't. It's ridiculous. I know. If I didn't use my keyboard every day at work, I probably wouldn't have done that. But I was having some like kind of issues with regular keyboards with my hands, so it's been very helpful with like pain I was getting in my hand. So it's been worth it to me. But it is ludicrous. Insane. I mean, the jump from, because it's labeled in like American price, I can't remember how much it was exactly, like 300 and something American. It's like over $500 here, plus shipping and everything. It's ridiculous, but insanely helpful. So it's been worth it to me. Don't know if I would necessarily recommend this one because of the price, but I haven't had many experiences with other ones. I think it's a fantastic keyboard, and I would buy another one because it's been that good for me. But yeah, I don't know. It is insanely expensive. They're all made to order, so they're not like bulk. Like there's not a bunch of them just sitting in a factory. If you order one, they'll build it and then they'll send it to you. So I imagine that makes it a little bit more expensive, but it's just because you kind of build the spec on the site and then you order it, so that they won't have your specific spec just sitting there. So there's some things that make it a little bit more expensive, but again, I think it's worth it for me. How do I get the entity into this? This is annoying. I can... I don't know why my Twitch chat room is having me disconnect and reconnect all the time. Maybe I can pop it out and unpop it. Let's try and fix that. You work as a developer all the time too, but maybe one day, yeah. I can understand the reason. Yeah, it was just because prior to using these keyboards, I would just use like my Mac keyboard just on the laptop itself, and I found I would constantly reach for the backspace key, and that reaching was causing some strain, like right here. So in doing this, I've like set up, I don't know how familiar you are with the idea of split keyboards, but I've colored my things deliberately. So these ones here, it's hard to do this on camera. These keys here are actually like modified. So if I hold down J, it is Control, and if I hold down K, it's Option or Alt. If I hold down L, it's Shift, and if I hold down the semicolon, it's Super or Command. I'm on Linux at the moment, so I jump between Mac and Linux. It's confusing. And it's the same on the other keyboard, so mirrored. So that's how I do my modified keys. So if I want to uppercase, I just hold down L on one keyboard, and then I can type in uppercase on the other hand, and then flip it. So I don't need to move my hands that much, and I've got backspace on my thumb now, which is really nice. So it's allowed me to like change the way that I type, and that's why it kind of sounds a lot faster as well, just because I'm not reaching for things. You can do this on Mac keyboards like with a program, but it's not as good. And again, like there was everything else about it being a split, like my shoulders are in line. I'm not like hunched over my keyboard like this all day. There's a lot of benefits to it. I still haven't worked out how I'm going to get the entity into, because the entity comes through run. Oh man. And then on the component pipeline, run is being ran. Component pipeline. Where's component pipeline run is on when I add an entity, so that's not good. The architecture of this is wrong. kind of like maybe if it was attached to it kind of is. But I don't want a component pipeline on each individual entity. I want it to be kind of separate. Could probably do like a I already have a registry of entities. I could pass the registry of entities down to the component pipeline, I guess. Because we are already doing component pipeline. But then this has an updater. That's one way to do it. But then it's gonna fall out of sync. It's probably not the best. Do I have like a drawing tool? Console. Just gonna download one on the side. Cool. Exit, GIMP, there he is. It's just easier if I try and map out what the hell I'm thinking. Alright, let's I haven't used this in a really long time, so whatever, sure. Can we do not blinded by black? By white? Boop. There we go, okay. Alright, now, God, I need to work out how to use GIMP now. Maybe small. Yeah, it kind of works. It's really blurry, but whatever. Maybe if I use a different brush, like a hard brush. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. We got this. So we've got. This is probably not the right size canvas, but that's okay. God, that's huge. Entity component manager has a entity component pipeline. And if we check out the manager holds the list of entities. So here, entities. I misspelled that. Entity. God, typing with the mouse is terrible. And then this one has what does this one have? Component pipeline has the registrars and the updater. Okay, so it has the updater. Updater. Which runs update? And I need to get a single entity down here. I think it's looping over the entities. Because if I pass a reference of entities down here, and then loop over them with the updater. I think that's fine. I think that might work. Let's try it. So if I go into the component pipeline, and we have a std vector of core entities entity I entity, and then it's a reference, and then entities. I guess it can probably be here because it's a reference to an existing one. It needs to be like that, and that needs to be like that. All right. That didn't format very nicely. Whatever. This one. Entities. Okay. And the updater. I think that goes there. Boom, boom, boom. Nice, okay. And then I should be able to do for auto entity this entities and then entity. And this should be a star, I think. Yes, I think that's fine. Okay, cool. And now if I go into the entity manager, when we create the component pipeline, this one, we want to give this entities. But I need to get, oh God, okay, it needs to be the pointers of it. Get, I forget how to do this. Let's have a look. I want to get how to get pointer a vector of pointers from a vector of unique pointers. Okay, well, that's not gonna work. Can I do references? Is that gonna work? If I go, I don't think that would work because in That's not going to work either. Let's consult the doc. Have a look. Do I have the doc somewhere? No. Oh, it's in there. Okay. Design docs. Component. I want the PDF. Movement component architecture. No, that's not what I want. I want entity ownership model, dynamic key maps. Did I not make one? I thought I did. I swear I fucking did. Devlog. Oh, what's the date? Probably that one. Okay, in that case, it's here. Here we go. Oh. Okay, component, post commit discussion, component checking moves. Yeah, here we go. Yes, true. Oh, I can pass in a single entity. No, because that doesn't work. Then I need to do a component updater for each entity. Well, I guess that kind of does work. All right, let's have a look. So if I go into here, this should receive a single entity. Could do like a load entity thing and then I was basically already doing that. Okay, that's fine. And then I don't know how to get the entity into it. I guess that's probably the easiest way to do it. If I don't do this, but I do component, and then if we have a virtual, it should return. Nope. It's a void. Set. I guess set is probably the best word. Set entity. Core entities, entity star entity override. I'm going to need to put that in the I'll be right back. 2 seconds. I'll be a little bit longer than I planned. Whoops. My bad. Oh, fuck. I left my glasses behind. 2 secs. We're back. I accidentally flooded my bathroom a little bit. That's alright. It's still good. Where were we? I can't remember what I was doing. Oh, I was creating the kind of like set entity in engine entities. The component pipeline. Yeah. We don't have this anymore. We perform a set entity here, and then we don't really need to pass one in anymore into any of them, because we have a core entities entity star entity. Yeah, and then this is going to be lines. Let's fix this. This is now just a simple one of them. And then we go into a unique pointer. I'm just going to keep it as a okay, probably be a reference because it's just, we'll do a pointer. It's fine. And then what's out of line? What are you complaining about? Out of line? Oh, I didn't. Yeah, that checks out. This one. And then we don't need to do this anymore. We can pass it in. This doesn't take one anymore. It just does this entity, and this will just do this entity, and then we can do a void entity component pipeline set entity core entities entity star entity, and then this entity equals entity. Boom. All right, and then run doesn't need it either, and this becomes of this entity, and this becomes of this entity. Okay, I think that solves that problem now. So it is getting the entity. So now in the entity manager, we don't need to do this anymore. And then when we're adding an entity handle, you go this component pipeline dot set entity as the handle, and then it will just start doing stuff. And then same with teardown. This component pipeline dot set entity. This might be a bad idea. Entity. Oh no, we gotta. No, yeah, no. Entity. I think that might not be a good idea. Yeah, because if I add another entity before, yeah, I think that's right. I wonder if this is creating issues. No, because I think you just reattach the pointer. I think that's fine. Okay, cool. And then in here, and I've also got my little side quest. also be checking. Yeah, I am checking. Is only updating. Okay, so this should only really be happening in here as well. And then it should go set entity on this component dot set entity. Great. This, nope, not this. Doc.get. Yeah, here we go. I think that's it. I think that works. I can't even remember what stage this is at. Like, I don't even know if this is gonna run. Turn statement in Snake. Okay, that's fine. All right, great. Build Snake. Bin Snake. There we go. Well, it runs. That's good. It doesn't do anything, which is, I think, where we're up to. I actually can't remember. But that's okay, because this style does what I wanted it to do. So, set entity, and you tear it down, but I need to make sure that this.dispatcher, this, updater. No, updater doesn't need to. I need to make sure I'm deleting this. Delete. If I go this, entity equals null pointer. Delete this entity, I think. I think that's right. If this entity dispatcher should probably use the same. Oh. Yeah, no, that's fine. Probably use the same pattern, but I don't think it needs the entity outside of those two, so it's probably not worth it. You don't need it either. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. All right. Next. Where was that document on the movement component? I think that's what I was doing. Can't remember where the fuck I put it. Here we go. All right, let's boop. All right, there we go. Fancy doc. The movement logic currently lives on the, yep. Yeah, I was doing a full like rewrite of how Snake works. Direction, pending direction, move timing, yep. And Snakehead. Components gain the ability to tick. Today, iComponent has no frame hook at all. Yes, this is what I just did. Render input each worked around. Yep. A generic movement component owns direction, timing, state, and its own input binding and can be attached to any entity, the Snakehead, or and test as the apple. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we're doing next. Is we're making the I'm just going to put this down here. Movement component next. So if I go into, this is a game component, movement component dot HPP. Can I borrow like all of this? Don't think I need that. shouldn't need any of this. Movement component. It is a game component. It's a movement component. Yep, it needs to update. I don't think it needs any of this. Or any of this, I don't think. Okay. Goddamn, Secunda, such a fantastic song. Okay, so a lot of the properties that I put on the snake segment, this stuff needs to move. So I need probably the direction, the pending direction, maybe speed. Maybe the timer, and we need direction change, size. I think just these ones. So components, movement, boop, put them there, and then we will do include on core math vector. Now we're gonna need to be able to set the direction. So if I go void, I think set direction. Should be able to give it a direction, which is a core math vector 2D direction, and pending direction is like the saved direction. It's got update. It's probably going to need some other systems as well, but we'll get back to that. So let's go to here. We'll go movement component.cpp, and then we'll go include movement component, namespace, the snake game, and then we're gonna go not here, movement component, no, not like that, yeah, like that. Probably another one. Yep, so that's the constructor, and then we want movement component set direction core math vector 2D direction, and then this direction equals direction, updates the direction. Probably gonna want all my like input stuff in here too, which I put, I think, on the head. So if I go to the head, yeah, input component, I'm gonna want you to do, oh, no, that's not right. Alright, we'll come back to that. Yeah, interesting. Do I have components? Huh. Where is the input component coming from? Oh, that's an engine item. Oh, right. Okay. I guess. All right, we'll come back to that. I need, what else do I need? We should probably remove these items from entities. Not the snake. No, that's deprecated. This shouldn't exist anymore. That shouldn't exist anymore. That no. None of this should exist anymore. I don't know about this. This. Shouldn't need that. Colliders, renderers, the normal stuff. Great. And then we're gonna need to get rid of a bunch of shit in here. Just gonna get rid of everything. I think this moves to this one. Something else, my washing machine finishing. That's where I flooded my bathroom. It doesn't have a transform. Okay, well that's another problem to get around. Or size, or any of this information. This needs a void. Step does not match any. Oh yeah, we didn't make a step. All right. Possibly private. Step. And what else did I have on my snake head? These bindings need to move to the... Ooh, how do I... I guess I might be able to take a reference to the input component and I can provide that. Yeah, this can probably come over here now, and I can do this movement component equals this get component. Oh, just the input component. Nope, this add component, movement components, and then the args is the input components. Oh, I've already got that. Okay, so I should be able to go this input component equals on the add, I think. This input component, spell it properly. I haven't added the add component yet. Engine, nope, it's a gameplay component. It's just a movement component. Why is the ad not working? That's interesting. Oh, probably because the constructor doesn't ask for one. I want a reference to the engine input components. Input component reference input component. Did I give game components begin play? I didn't. Fuck, there's another thing I need to go through and wire up. They should probably have begin play. Alright, virtual void, begin play. This is probably only, yeah, it's gonna need to be on here. Okay, that's fine. Public core, do I have begin play as a life cycle? I begin, there he is. All right, great. Now in the entity component lifecycle, I've got an entity activation pipeline, which is running the begin play on the entity. I can probably run entity for each component. Where's this? Entity. Oh, this has got the component on it directly, doesn't it? Begin plays not const, so I want to go, yeah, core components. My component star component. Component begin play. There we go. No matching. Oh, return true. I think that's fine. Let's main quest this. Hook up on active. Wait for individual components and deactivate all components. Yeah. And check if entity is active before. Oh, it's already doing that second half. Okay, that's fine. There we go. All right, great. Now that should be doing the main part that I wanted it to do, is to be able to set up input on a component. So if I go to my snake head, where all this is, this needs to go onto my movement component now. So if I go to components, movement component, and I should now have a void movement component begin play. And I can chuck all this here. Except this now needs to have a engine, nope, it's in input components, input component, reference input component. And then this one, and then input components, input components. Cool, great. And now this needs to make sure it actually has the input component here. So I want engine, input, components, input component, reference, input components. I think a reference is fine. We'll work it out. This was expecting a pointer, but I'm sure that's fine. Thanks, Alexa. I don't know if I wanted a pointer or not. Let's just see if that works. Add a line. It's because I didn't say it exists. Begin play. Begin play. It's hiding. Oh, I don't need that. I should say delta time. Yeah, that works. Okay, great. Now can I go cmake build. Bunch of stuff is broken. The add component stuff is still not working. That's okay. Entities, snakehead, exit. This doesn't need to exist here anymore. What's the? Do these not return a value? They do. And return a pointer. Oh. What are you whinging about? The input component? The movement component that it needs to have. I don't think it needs a reference to this though. Where the fuck am I? Set game, entities, here. Rather it should be a pointer, but I don't think I need this anymore. This could probably just be an auto. Auto star, is it? Oh man, I can't see what the hell's going on here. What if I go, these should probably... Input component. Ta-da, maybe? No? Abstract class, what? Oh. So I component, right, okay. It's gonna have linker errors unless I, you know what, but that's probably gonna cause a lot of issues on all of them, but that's okay. What do you mean it doesn't? Boy, it's right there. Oh, okay. Stop complaining. Cool. I don't care about the snake. Okay, cool. We fixed this. So now I should be able to make this again. And that's great. And then I guess we've got a similar issue here. This is probably no matching constructor, so it's probably because it's that one. There we go. And the snakehead should not be doing any of that. Great. Build. While that does that, I know it's gonna break. So I should go to my CMake lists and go snake game. Game components, source, snake game, game components, movement, component dot cpp. That's an amanuensis bug. But amanuensis isn't erroring anywhere else. What the fuck? And Firefly. Firefly. Let's have a look. See, git pull, probably would help. Oh, that's fun. CMake build. It works. Okay. Build. Test, Firefly, it still works. Okay, cool. That's not a problem. Why are you a problem here? I wonder if, quite possible that, we should do a git pull here. Hey, Cyberspace Office. It is a lo-fi mix of Skyrim. Probably why it sounds familiar, because, yeah. It's called. Let me show you. If I can find my window where it's playing. I cannot. Where is it? Oh, there it is. You should probably see that now. Skyrim, but it's lo-fi beats. Beats and hits. It's very chill. Secunda sounds amazing in lo-fi. CMake, build. I do have errors. Okay, this is what my problem is. In value traits, error monostate is not a member of STD. Source, I think that's probably an include value traits. Yeah, there you go. It's because I'm pretty sure I need to include monostates. Is it not in STD? It is an STD. The hell am I missing? Oh, it's not in monostate, it's in variant. That's why. And then git add, git cm, add variant import to value traits. Exit. All right, cool. And then Firefly is going to need an update. Git. Wait, do I have yes, it's up to 3. So it's git submodule update remote. Git add, git s, git cm update dependencies. S. Now if I go exit, CMake, build. I don't know why this started happening all of a sudden. It's kind of strange, to be honest. rm-rf build, and then we go CMake -s.-b build. Do. All right. CMake. It's probably gonna take a while now. Build. While that cooks, I'm gonna go check on my washing. Back in a sec. Back. All good? Yeah. You know what? I didn't check on the vertical stream at all. I hope that's working. If I go into YouTube. Studio, maybe? I can see that the horizontal stream's working, but I can't find the vertical stream. I actually don't even know how, to be honest. That's Twitch. You stay out there. This one. It says it's going, so I'm just going to assume it's going, but I don't actually know how to find it. Oh well, I don't know. Pray for the best, I guess. Assume it's working. Here we go. This is what we wanted to see. So now it's asking for our transform component to have a begin play. And it's probably going to do the same for the other component directly after this. So if we go into spatial components here, and then this needs a begin play, This is not a great solution because it's not going to scale very well once the components continue to grow, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Collision components. Yeah, there we go. That's great. This doesn't have one, but it shouldn't need it because you do. Okay, that's fine. CMake, build. I want to play Skyrim. All right, perfect, great. Now we're finally into the movement component, and this is obviously not going to work because we don't have any of those informations in my movement component. So we'll go into here, components, movement component. This noise. How do I get the transform to the movement component? I guess the same way I did the input component makes a little bit of sense. So we could probably do transform component, transform. Just call it transform, I guess. Engine, spatial. Actually, no, we can use a we can use core spatial. iTransform should be fine for this. Transform. And then in here we add a core spatial iTransform. Transform. These are now dots. Size. I guess it needs the size. I don't know why the segment would need the size anymore. It's definitely related to moving, so maybe. Yeah, it needs a size. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. If we go into Snake Game, components, movement component, and then we'll go float cell size, which has a value, and I can't remember what it is, so we'll get it from somewhere. It gets set somewhere globally. This needs the core spatial. iTransform, transform, and I think it would probably make a lot of sense if a lot of this was like configurable externally, but defaulted. So if we do, I think it's like 20. I don't think that's right, but it's something like that. But if we have a struct with movement component params, and then chuck like all of this in there, we can do movement component params, and then like all of it's configurable pretty easily. So we go here, and this is cell size now. More descriptive as to what we were a size of. This needs to be an at, and deceptively on the same line. Movement, component params, and params. And then like all the other params can pretty much just get added here, which we had cell size is down the bottom. So params dot cell size. There we go. We've got speed. Params dot speed. It was like a move timer or something. Move timer. Params dot move timer. And move interval. Params dot move interval. Perfect. Amazing. And then I'm sure we're gonna need like the event bus or something at some stage, but at least everything is plugged in now, except for the component itself. Actually, that needs to go on. I think we currently have it on the snake head, being the thing that is moving, which would be here. So this needs all the other things now. This transform, yeah, alright, great. And now everything else is defaulted, so I don't think we need to necessarily include it. I can probably just go auto movement params equals movement component params, and then I just want to set the cell size to equal this size. Dot. And then I can chuck movement params in there and call it a day. In template, no matching constructor for initialization of snake game movement components. No, I want that one. Oh, that didn't work. What's the problem? Can you just copy by value? It doesn't need to be a reference, it's fine. Go to game components. Yeah, you should be okay just being that. Game entities. Snakehead. Still complaining. No matching constructor initialization for. Why not? Oh, let's just give it the component. Screw it. Engine, spatial, components, transfer component. It's going to be incorrect here now. Engine, components, transfer component. Yeah, where are we? Nope, this one. Grr. What's a pointer to? That needs to be that. My bad. That probably would have been fine as an eye transform. And probably would have been better too. Where is it? Yeah, okay. Nope. Okay, I didn't like that one. Okay, it has to be the... engine, spatial. Okay. Happy now? Yeah, you are. Alright. What's up? What? Is initialized with itself. And renderer needs the begin play. Okay. What do you mean it's initialized with itself? That's fine. Render 2D. Woo, custom game engine, Vim and Snake. Yeah. Just using Snake is kind of like a kind of proof of concept to show that like the systems are working. So, and split ortho. Yes. It's a ZSA Voyager. Welcome in, Amir. Is a softly. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have a look. Ah, yes. Okay. Did you have to assemble that yourself? Oh, yeah, assembled. I see, I see. The price is better. Mine was very expensive. That's clean. Little knobs and stuff. Whoops. Yeah. Fair. Very cool. Yeah, the OLED's interesting. What's it display? Snake segment. I took a lot of this out. Oh, typing speed. That's interesting. Active layer, sure. I got the color of the keyboard changes with the layer I'm on. I don't know how that's coming out on the camera, but that was how I did it. I lost my train of thought. What was I doing? The thing had a thing. Snake segment had a bunch of stuff in it. It didn't have any more. It's a good idea. Yep. I turned off my colors off. I took colors off, but using the layer for color makes total sense. Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm not a big fan of like all the flashy like RGB stuff, so I've got it like very like purpose built for whatever I'm doing. Like my main layer has very specific set of colors on it because I've got my home row mods. I assume you're familiar, where I've got like Control, Alt, Shift, and then Command or Super. I'm on Linux on this machine, but I often work on Mac as well. These ones are, there's like some extra functionality, which to be honest, I tend to forget what's on there. But yeah, the colors was intentional. Yeah. A Vim layer that makes... Oh, okay, interesting. I have a similar thing, I think. Because if I hold this button down, it changes layer. And then I've got it on HOKL as well. And that's my arrow keys. I move this function, this whole thing can go in the bin. Cool, that was the only thing complaining, great. Yeah, fair enough. I hate rich text. I'm glad I don't have to use Excel or Word like ever. I don't even remember the last time I opened either of those programs. I do a lot of stuff in MD these days. Don't even need to leave Vim. I think I'm ready to build. No, it's good. Thanks for dropping in and talking about it. It's good to get other people's experiences with them. It's very niche, but I'm finding that a lot of people that are interested in the kind of things I'm working on are also similar-minded people with the whole split stuff. So, linking errors, that's fun. It's good to find people who are interested in talking about it, because a lot of people at work, when they see my keyboard, they think I'm an alien. Missing... I didn't add a function somewhere in entity. Spatial const. Why is that missing a vtable reference? It's very weird. Emacs plus Tmux. You use Tmux and Emacs? That's interesting. I thought Emacs had some kind of Tmux-like solution built in. Usually Tmux pairs with Vim quite well because it doesn't have that, or as well. I guess if you're familiar, Tmux is fine. I tried Ghosty, I didn't gel with it for some reason. I can't remember why. I've just been using Alacrity. Switched to Split because of RSI. Yeah, I had a very similar thing when I would type on my Mac keyboard and I would reach for the backspace button. I'd get like a pain down here, which was very uncomfortable. So the split keyboard's been great because I now put it on my my thumb, and I don't need to reach for anything at all anymore. My hands pretty much cover the entire thing. GUI Emacs is dumb. I want to stay in terminal and have quick... Yeah, exactly. That's fair enough. That's pretty much exactly why I use the combo I use. Engine special. I think I'm just missing an import. I don't know where, but I am missing an import somewhere. I transform. Oh, it's probably in the... Yeah. In here. This is wrong. Nope. I've got it. No, I don't. Yeah. Okay. Engine. Input components. No, not input. Engine spatial components. Okay. Moved from Vim to Emacs because I didn't want to do plugin dev in VimScript. NeoVim didn't exist back in 2010. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, that checks out. Lua's really easy, and aside, Evil is Emacs Vim emulation layer. It's flawless, so good. Yeah, I mean, I've heard Emacs is really good, and I wouldn't really... Like, I would probably use Emacs if I didn't have NeoVim, but I learnt NeoVim, and trying to swap to Emacs with the different keybinds just feels unnatural. I guess if you've got the Vim emulation, it's probably a little bit easier, but yeah, I just don't really see the benefit of it. It's kind of like extreme min-maxing, but I think the difference between Emacs and NeoVim is basically subjective at this stage, so it's whatever. I can't remember when I started using Vim, actually. It was not that long ago. It was probably like 2023, maybe? Yeah, Vim emulation made it stupid simple. Yeah, and I agree, Lua scripting is close enough to ELISP. Yep. Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially when you start stacking on like a lot of the things like lazy loading with the NeoVim lazy plugin thingy, it makes it so much easier just to install plugins. I've got some other configurations as well, because I've got if I go quest log, it will show you like all these comments that I've left inside of my code base, and I've got like all these different labels. So like a main quest is something that I need to get done. It's like the thing to focus on. Side quest is a bit of a side tangent that I should go get to later. A 1-up is just an improvement. Reaper is like a reference to Persona, when if you're like stay on a level for too long, a Reaper comes and just like cleans you up. So it's like, you know, you need to come clean this up. A raid boss is like something that's really, really large that's to do with engine code, and then a world boss is something that's really large to do with game code. So, and this is essentially my project management thing, and as you can see, I've got a lot to do. But just like these little sort of things that I can add to my NeoVim, it just makes it easier to kind of find what I'm working on. Let me catch up. What'd you say? Yeah, Vim. Yep. Legit. Thumbs up. Oh yeah, cool. Org mode is insanely powerful, but still a tough call if it's worth switching to Emacs. Yeah, I've heard some stuff about it. I haven't used it properly to know. I tried jumping into Emacs just to give it a go, and the control scheme was so vastly different that I was just like, I don't know. It's not if I want to. Not worth it. I'm missing something still. What is it? Is it still this linking error? Yeah. I fucking love this song. entities entity CPP. There is add component. Interesting. What's going on over there? Why are you whinging? Oh, is it because I'm trying to add the component, but it's missing something? It's possible. Hang on. Add component. Let's copy gameplay. What the hell, man? What's your day job? I work as a software engineer. As a consultant, so I tend to get thrown on different teams very often in different languages. So I like to come home and focus on C++ stuff because it's a lot more in the vein of what I would like to be working on. But yeah, I get thrown on all sorts of stuff. Been on a little bit Swift, some React Native lately, a lot of .NET stuff. There's some PHP stuff last year. Yeah. What about you two? I assume you're a dev. A few months a year? Oh, that sounds ideal. It gets a bit much sometimes, to be honest. Full-time game at dev and engine dev. Oh, that sounds ideal. Yeah, I'm just in the business space, so lots of CRUD apps and other things in web dev land. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'd love to get into that sort of stuff. Yeah. So do you freelance your own sort of company, and you do some of the CRUD app stuff to just kind of supplement the income a little bit when the console stuff's a bit quiet, or? This is, why are you undefined? I added that one. Oh, maybe I didn't add it to the... Yeah, I didn't. This is what's whinging over. This is what I thought it was whinging over. Maybe I didn't do it to the Snake game movement component is missing an update, maybe? Is that what I'm seeing? Game components, movement component. Yeah, it is. Void, movement components. Update, const, float, delta time. I don't. You will need that. That's fine. Okay, next. We're back to some stuff about transform components. Source, engine, spatial components. This one. Big, yeah, you don't have a big input either. Begin play. Boom. Yeah, you mentioned you were doing, Amir, you mentioned you're doing some CROD apps every few months. Did I understand that correctly? I think that's what my question was. Nice. Was that just to like break out of game dev when it's quiet, or like did you just like mixing it up? Yeah, we'll get back to that. We built finally. Bin, snag. I'm not expecting this to work, but if I hit W, yes, yeah, it's not gonna work. Okay. Probably because update's not updating. Checks out. Makes sense. Game components. This one. You should be stepping, I think. There's probably a bunch of logic I need to put in here, but let's get you stepping. Bolster retirement, that's a good idea. And between games, obviously. I don't know why that keeps going on the other monitor, but doing a PS5 launch at the moment at the end of the week. So I picked up some contract work through the end of the year, Angular and Java. Angular and Java is actually like really common still in other parts of the world from where I am. It's very strange. I like just kind of keep an eye out on like the job market around in other places, and I still see Angular and Java come up quite a bit, but not here. It's very hard to get any Angular or Java experience these days in Australia, because our tech stack is completely different. Angular 13, Ancient Codebase. I think that's usually the case for a lot of the other like countries. I think we tend to just have newer products all the time, so it's like a lot of TypeScript, a lot of React, a lot of .NET on the back end instead of Java. And I think we just have a bit of like a fanboy thing over Microsoft for some reason, which I'm not a fan of. Yeah, it's weird, but that sounds alright. I mean, Ancient Code will pay, so that's good. So I'm not sure if the binding's working. Can I add like a console.log to the binding? Let's do log. Oh, I guess it's technically a core. We'll do a debug. Binding set for name. Not get. Build in snake. Okay. Now I'll find my debug. Gameplay, debug, adding entities. And I don't think it's doing it. Previous gig was .NET Core and Mass Transit. Wow. Yeah, run-of-the-mill corporate dev. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. I'd love to do a lot of this sort of stuff that I'm working on now. Full time. It'd be really interesting, but kind of hard to monetize. I don't even know how you would go about doing that. It's just not really a product that I'm selling. Grass is always greener. It's always do or die with me. And yeah, that's the thing. You end up stressing over different things, but I guess that's just kind of how things are in life. You just got to pick the things to stress over. Do you want to stress over like finding your next paycheck, or do you want to stress over doing something interesting? I don't think either of them are the right answer necessarily. It just kind of depends on the individual and where you are in life. God, I can't remember what I was after. My brain just died. Engine. Oh, the logs. That's what I wanted. Log. Just kill that and run it again. Getting set faults when I close it and check into that. Input. Yeah, it's not running my my thing. Okay. Interesting. I wonder if that was meant to be a pointer instead. Maybe that's why. That would make sense. Probably gonna be the case for you too. I keep doing that. And now I need to pass through the pointer instead, which would be on the snake head. Yeah. Why am I doing... Oh, it's perhaps that's fine. Here. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay, that's because I just changed something. Where was that debug log? It was in... something to do with input, I think. Input binding go. It was in components here, input component, bind. Ah, that would help. Bind, yep, input. Yeah, there you go. Wait, no, that's an application. I need to set a way better log comment. Where is it? Yeah. Input components. Input binding set for name. I am not seeing this anywhere. Curious. Or maybe begin play's not running. Log info. I'll just debug. Movement components. Begin play. Core logging log. Great. Possible that didn't work when I did this. Build bin snake. And then exit. We go find our dog. What am I after? Movement component? Yeah. Begin. Play. Yeah, it's not doing it. Okay, so that tells me that the begin play in the component isn't running. Which I did in oh god. Engine entities in here we call is it the dispatcher? No, it's the activation pipeline. This one. Core. That's probably because it's not active. Core log core debug. Entity activation pipeline running. Component begin play. Include core logging log. Oh man, we're getting there. Okay, it's definitely running it. It's just running it a million times for all the different components. Oh, here they are. Okay, so it is working. So can I go up? Okay, I need to... Oh, does it need the bus? Maybe it needs the bus. I think it needs the bus still. Okay. Just close this. Exit. Yeah, it's possible that if I go to Snake Game, Game Events, nope. Entities, Snake Head. That's what I'm doing in the movement component. So if I go into movement, here, bind. Pretty sure I needed... Did I delete it already? Should have been on the head. Must have deleted it. No, it's on... Yeah. I think this needs to be pending direction. Core, nope, not core, log, debug. Movement, component, direction set to direction dot x, direction dot y. Open snake. Okay, now I should see some logs when I go boop, 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 and I'm not. Says a lot. Do. Okay, cool. All right, that's good to know. So that's probably not working. Input bind. I don't know. Time is it? 1+2. Kind of need a wide debug through the components, is what I'm thinking. Which is painful, but yeah. Public core debug iDebuggable, and then we go virtual void debug update. I think I need const float. I don't think I had a. I think it's just a const override. Same for render. And then all the other ones need it. render. No. It's annoying. Physics collision. Boom. Boom. What do you mean? You're right there. Oh, LSP was being slow. Build bin snake. Alright, build's still having issues with the movement not working. That's fine. Going to snake, going to game component. Yeah. Now if I go into here and then go void move, and then component render const Umber debug. Can't remember how this works. Sure, I've got an example somewhere close by. Umber debug. Teleport. Nope. Debug. Here we go. I was in update, not render. Okay. That's probably why. Debug update. Cool. And then I can put a value under a certain spot on the tree. Debug update. Are you sure it's update? That doesn't make any sense. I can't remember why I did that. Okay, so this is going to be movement component. Should really be like the host name. I need to work out how to do that. And then direction X. Essentially what we're going for. And then I want to say this pending direction dot X and Y. I think that will work. Yo, what are you using behind the scenes rendering? Sorry, I missed your messages. SDL. I want to move to SDL. I'm actually using Raylib, a higher level framework, just because it had a few extra like game specific stuff when I started. So what I had actually done, because I didn't start this project with the idea of building a game engine, it kind of happened a bit later. I was playing with Raylib in C++ and I was just building Snake. And then I started abstracting the Snake stuff out from, yeah, familiar? Cool. Out from, just because it was all in one file. And that's when it started to slowly build into a game engine, and I just abstracted Raylib away while I was doing that. So I've got like a Raylib facade, and everything that I need from Raylib is like behind some kind of conversion layer that turns like engine definitions into Raylib definitions, so that my game itself isn't touching Raylib code anymore, and I can swap it out with SDL later. Yeah, I know what you mean. SDL is pretty nice. Plus, like, now that I've like kind of started going down this rabbit hole, I've gained a lot more interest in like building my own like Vulkan renderer, for example. So being able to just use SDL for windowing and input, and then use my own renderer would be really interesting. So that's the plan, but it's not important. It gets thrown later. Build bin Snake. Okay, Apple's the only thing that's actually rendering. Keep doing that. So let's go into Snake game, entities, Apple. Surely it's under render. Debug. Let's check this. I'm very confused. Apple begin play. Apple reactivated, Apple deactivated. Well, that's interesting. It's on activate. That shouldn't work. That's very confusing. Let's get rid of that. Why is this not working? Core of Dragon Ruby, my commercial engine. Oh yeah, is SDL. Yeah, cool. I think SDL is like a really common one to reach for. Are you using SDL 2 or 3? Because it looks like 3 is catching up or is becoming viable. Three, yeah, sick. That's probably what I will do, is reach for 3 when I do the transfer from Raylib. I'll probably do that before I start my next project. If I check this under render, does it work? It's weird that this is not working. Nope. CMake, build. Apple begin play plays once. Where is that? That's over here. Okay, that shouldn't be it. Why is my debug render not working? Oh, maybe it's not plugged into my application anymore. That will check out. That makes sense. Yeah, that's exactly what's happened. Okay. Shader support is huge, but core team is still working on WebGPU, which is currently isn't supported. Okay. Fair enough. I also don't intend to make web games, if that's what WebGPU is for. I assume it is. The entity. Where the hell is it? On debug update. It should be working. Oh wait, I haven't attached it to the component. Oh, but that should be working on the thing. That's very weird. Okay, so first, the component pipeline should really be doing debug updates as well. I just did that. Okay. Build and snake. Hey, it's there. So if I hit a button, it is moving. Okay, it's working. But my snake isn't moving because it needs to get the more stuffs. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, that's a win. I'm really happy with that. I'm not sure I'm happy with this, or just chilling here like this, but it's doing what it says it should do, so I'm not too mad about it. Okay, now the snake head should have a movement component, right? Yeah. Which it does. But it should actually move itself, its own transform. Which is the thing that we're passing in. So I would assume that this isn't updating properly, is my guess. Is it a pointer? It is a pointer. Okay. Oh, maybe it's just not stepping. Wait. Yeah, no, it is stepping. I'm so confused. Why did that not work? Can I go Umbra debug? Ah, this is a good idea. Alright, if I go into entities, snakehead, debug update, Umbra debug, this transform.position.x, snake head transform x, and we get as y as well. How are you handling simulation versus render? All on the same thread? Yeah, I think so. Haven't really gotten that deep into needing anything else, so everything's just in line. There's a lot to learn in this stuff. I'm aware of that, but yeah, I haven't done any intentional multi-threading, so. Huh, that didn't work. Why is that not working? What the hell, man? That's confusing. Oh, unless this one debug. Nope. Yes. Debug update. Yeah. You should be doing way more than that. Undebug render. Where's my update? Oh. That should still work. What's this? This is worth a read. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Thank you. Let's have a peek now. I should read it out loud. Here's the deal. You got a game and you want to run it at 60 FPS and 60 Hz monitor. Your game is fast enough that both rendering and updating take a negligible amount of time. So you enable VSync, write your game, and the loop looks like this. That's pretty close to how mine looks. Yes. Easy. Your game now runs at 60 FPS and is smooth as butter. Done. Thanks for reading this post. Okay, I assume, yep. Okay, obvious, this isn't good enough. What if someone is running on a lower spec computer and they can't run the game fast enough to handle 60 FPS? What if their monitor is done with one of those fancy new 144 Hz monitors? What if they forced VSync off in their driver settings? So you think, well, I got to measure time in here somewhere and make sure I'm updating at the right frequency. It's fairly simple to do. You just accumulate every loop and do an update every time it goes over the threshold of 1/160. Well, delta time, basically actually calculating it, yeah. I think Raylib is giving me delta time for free. Accumulator plus delta time, and then while accumulator, okay, interesting. All right, yeah. Render, done, boom, easy. In fact, there's a ton of games out of their ship code with that looks basically exactly like this, but it's wrong. This works fine for regulating time, but introduces stuttering issues and other kinds of inconsistencies. A common one here is that frames are not exactly 1/60th of a second, even if you have VSync on. There's a bit of noise in how long they take. Yep. And how precise the OS timer is. So you'd get situations where you render a frame and the game doesn't think it's time to update again, because the accumulator is behind by a tiny minuscule amount. So you just repeat the same frame again. Situations, render a frame. Yeah. But now the game is very behind. Yeah, so it does a double update stutter. Yeah, okay. There's a few existing solutions to fixing that stutter you can find with some Google searching. For instance, you could have your game use a variable time step instead of a fixed time step. You just skip the accumulator junk in your timing code entirely. Or you can do a fixed time step with an interpolated renderer, as described in the pretty famous Fix Your Time Step blog post from Glenn Fiedler, one of them. Does time bad. Okay, interesting. Or you can fudge your game code to be a little bit more lenient, as described in the frame timing issues blog post from Slick Entertainment. Unfortunately, the blog no longer exists. Interesting that the takeaway is Delta time bad. I'm curious to see how that comes up with it. I'm not really using Delta time because I'm using Snake, so it's like fixed like beats with like a timer, which might not be plugged into Delta time. I'd have to check. Oh, it might be actually. I can't remember. Slick Entertainment's method of timing fuzziness was the easiest to implement in my engine, as it didn't require any changes within game logic or rendering. So I did that for The End Is Nigh. It was about as plug and play as it gets. In summary, it's basically just lets the game update a little bit early so as to avoid timing inconsistency issues. If the game is VSynced, this should let it just use the VSync as the main timer for the game, and you'd get a buttery smooth experience. Interesting. Basically, this is what the code for updating looks like now. The game can run at 62 FPS, but it still treats each time step as if it was 60 FPS. I'm not sure why it needs to clamp it to prevent the accumulator from going below 0, but it doesn't work without that. Okay. You can interpret this as the game updates in lockstep if it's rendering between 60 FPS and 62 FPS. Okay. If you're VSynced, this basically just lets the game be in lockstep with the monitor's refresh rate, and you get a buttery smooth experience. I feel like you just said that. The main issue here is you would run slightly fast if you were not VSynced, but it's such a minor difference that nobody would notice. Okay. Well, I mean, wouldn't you get 2 extra updates per render? I guess if the rendering is still in line, it's probably, you wouldn't notice. What am I? Speedrunners noticed shortly. Oh yeah, there you go. Shortly after the game was released, they noticed that some people on the speedrun records list had a worse in-game times but slightly better measured times than others, and this was directly caused by the timing fuzziness and something forcing VSync off in the game or running on a 144 Hz monitor. So it was clear I needed to disable that fuzziness if VSync was off. Oh, but there's no way to check if VSync is off. There's no OS call for it. And while you can request for VSync to be enabled or disabled from your application, it's completely up to the OS and graphics driver on whether or not to actually enable it. Yep, that checks out. Okay. The only thing you can do is render a bunch of frames and try to measure how long they take and try to see if they take about the same time. So that's what I did for The End Is Nigh. If it wasn't VSynced at 60 Hz, it falls back to the original strict 60 FPS frame timer. Plus I added a config file setting to force it to not use fuzziness, mainly there for speedrunners who want accurate times, and gave them an accurate in-game timer hook they could use for their auto splitter. Oh god, this is huge. Okay. Some people still complained about occasional single frame stutters, but they seemed rare enough that they were probably just OS events or something. Not a big deal, right? Recently, when reviewing my timer code, I noticed something odd. The accumulator was drifting. Every frame would take a little bit longer than 1/60 second, so periodically the game would think it's a frame behind and do a double update. Turns out my current monitor is an awkward frame rate. Instead of 60, that's pretty common. This meant that once every 1000 frames, it needed to do a double update to catch up. That makes sense. Simplest fix though, instead of having the range of acceptable frame rates be 60 to 62, you just make it 59 to 61 instead. Okay. The previously described issue about disabled VSync and high refresh rate monitors is still there, and the same solution still applies. Fall back to the strict timer if the monitor is not VSynced at 60. But how do I know this is appropriate solution? How can I test this to make sure it works properly on all combinations of computers with different kinds of monitors, VSync on, VSync off, etc.? It's really hard to track this timer stuff in your head and figure out what causes desyncs and weird cycles and stuff. I was not prepared for how much I was going to read out loud. Here's the thing that you were talking about with the delta time. That last one's pretty funny. Alright, I'm going to save this and keep reading through it later because it's very interesting, but I'm getting too tired to read it all out loud. Very cool though. Thanks for sharing that, Aman. It's untenable to have reliable simulation if you use delta time. Yeah, it makes sense. It seems like he's just come up with a solution that doesn't require you needing to feed it through, and it just goes based off of the renders update as kind of like the source of truth. Which makes sense. And he's talking about decoupling it here too. Yeah, cool. I like it. Very cool. I'm gonna save this. Chill somewhere. Oh, bookmarks bar. Done. Cool. I'll come back to that. Thanks for sharing, Amir. That's good. I've just seen the guy that built Binding of Isaac wrote this. Fair enough, that checks out. He also mentioned some other game that I hadn't heard of. But yeah, that's really interesting. It makes my life easier as well, not having to worry about delta time every time you do a calculation. He made that point at the bottom, like it gets really tedious. I think I might pause and jump off here because I've been streaming for 3 hours and I have not eaten lunch. So, what time is it? Yeah, 2:45. So, made some good progress. I've still got to try and get the movement working, which I'll be sure to do next time. I'm trying to find time to do these more frequently. Sunday seems to be a good option, but I want to get a weekday one in as well. We'll try and work out a good time. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Amir, thanks for chatting. It's been really cool. Yeah, really appreciate your insights and input, and the keyboard chat was great too. So, yeah, good to talk to you. Good to see you, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Easy. Have a good day or night. Can't find all my options.